in my project, it's very important that you practice proper safety protocol. So when you're working with wood, you should always use gloves to make sure you don't get any splinters or cuts. And next of all, when you're working with power tools such as a drill, you should be using gloves or goggles. Finally, you should always, when working on my project, you should always wear closed-toed shoes and preferably wear pants. Step 1. Step 1 is the major step in this project, which involves marking plywood. The markings will be done according to a specific diagram with measures on it. For this step, we will need a chalk line, rulers, tape measure, protractor, and a 90-degree angle, which may come in handy. And you'll also need a pencil to do the marking, and a very important diagram. To begin, we start off by laying our plywood flat, and we lay it flat on the side with the sticker on it. This is very important because we'll be marking on the side with the sticker on it. To begin, we start off by taking off the sticker. Now we can start with marking up our wood. For this part, we will start off by using a pencil, a ruler, and a corner. We will also need a tape measure. For this piece that I'll be marking out is a bottom piece of the birdhouse. We'll start off by setting our width to 17 inches, which is the width of the base, and put a little mark with pencil. Then we will set our length of the piece to 15 and put a mark on it. Since this piece has an edge in the middle of the plywood, or in the center of the plywood where it's inaccessible and it's not on the corner, we'll use the 90-degree angle to make sure our sides are going to be straight. Once you have assured that all the angles are 90 degrees, we can start proceeding to the chalk line part. To use the chalk line, we first open up the handle, and we can start by putting the little clip on the end on the edge of the plywood. We drag the chalk. We'd like to make it so the dust doesn't fall on the plywood. And we can simply just align it to this dot here. And we put our finger on the dot. And then what we can do to mark the line is snap the line, and we'll create a perfectly straight line. We do the same for this, the width of this base. And we have a piece that we can now cut out. To proceed, we simply do this step for all of the other pieces on this plywood, and then you are complete with this step. When we left off, I did this box, and like that, I finished the whole plywood, and by just marking it with the chalk line, and I used the ruler and the tape measure. This whole thing took me about 30 minutes alone, so since you'll be working in groups of twos, it should be done much faster. Once you're complete, the adults will then cut the wood with a table saw. Similarly, once you are done with the plywood, once you finish marking that, we have to now mark the 2x2 pine. These are internal framing sticks that will be inside the birdhouses. As you can see, I have marked angles from here, and I wrote on the pieces how they correspond from the diagram. And if you just do this correctly, then the adults can then cut these pieces, and we're good to go. The angles on the 2x2 pine sticks. What you do is first draw the angles using a protractor on one of the sticks. Since you'll need 2 sticks for each box, you can copy the angles easily by taking the other stick and simply holding a ruler on your angle, and you can just draw the angle here. And similar on the other side. That way you don't have to measure with a ruler every time and it's much easier. Step 3 of my project is assembly. This is where all the scouts come in to assemble the boxes that we've cut from step 2. So in this step, you'll have 7 pieces over here. And you will also have a drill and you will need a drill bit, and you will also need the screwdriver attachment. You will need fasteners, and you will also need these small screws. Other hardware includes these hinges that you'll need, and these 2x2 pine framing that you have cut from step 2. Assembling the boxes, follow the guide that I will hand to you. So, for example, when we are assembling the base here, which is the base, we will start off by marking 3 pilot holes with a pen, and according to the guide. Because we will use 3 screws for this side. When assembling the boxes, we'll use these exterior screws, which are gray, and for for the hinges, instead of using the included hinges screws, we'll use these screws, which are small. To begin, we want to drill pilot holes using the drill bit. And we'll do that so the wood doesn't expand when we put the screw in. So once you have a pilot hole, you can now now you can put the screw in. And it's as easy as that. For the rest of the pieces, do the same as we just did, and the box will be great as long as you follow the directions closely. In this box, I've attached the side pieces, the back piece, and all the internal framing. Now I'm about to put in the front panel. So now it's time for the hinges. For the hinges, we'll be using this flat piece and 2 of the small hinges. To begin, we position the hinges 6 centimeters from the side. Once that is positioned, we draw our circles using a pen or a pencil. For this, you will not need to use pilot holes when you drill the hinge into it, but you will need to make sure to use the screws that are in this box and not the provided screws. Once we have installed these hinges over here and here, we now need to install these special T-hinges. Again, we do not use the included hinges and use the included screws and use the special screws that I've pointed out before. So these hinges must be aligned so that this screw over here is not going to interfere with this, and we just push it over a little bit until there's about a ½ inch space from the hinge. Also, we need to make sure that once it's opened like this, this is flush with the wood, like that. Again, we do not need to drill the pilot holes. Just mark it with a pen, the holes, and then we can proceed and install the roof. So this is what our owl box looks like now. It has our hinges on, but it's not yet done. We still need to install our 4 eye screws. To begin, we start off by locating the back of the top, and we position, we put a dot 5 inches from the side and about at least a ¼ inch from the back. I put it at 1 inch. So next, what we do is we want to drill our pilot holes again. And then we grab our number 4 eye hooks. These will be labeled on the eye hooks itself, and they have a tag. Make sure to remove the tag. What we do is then we can just simply screw it in like this, and we have to make sure that the eye hooks go through the wood and into the 2x2 framing underneath. So this is the completed owl box, and it's quite heavy. It's about 20 pounds or so, and this is how it should be. And make sure to put in these eye hooks properly, because those are what's going to stop the owls from jumping out or flying, from falling out from the flaps. That's it.